Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, yes, I'm in the car again, and you know why. It's because I'm a mother, and this is the only place of peace and quiet that I get. But I'm super excited to be with you guys to share with you this week's tips. Now, before I get started, I just want to tell you guys that the tips are things that I personally have tried and have found to work, or things that I know others have tried and found success with. So keep that in mind when you think about your lifestyle, how you live your life. Some things may or may not work for you, but in general, I would not give you anything that I wouldn't try myself, that I haven't tried myself, or that someone that I trust has tried or hasn't tried. So keep that in mind. Okay, so every week there's going to be a tip, and I'm super excited about this one because it's so easy and it's so simple, and it's kind of not common sense, but a little bit, because we do this every single day. And yet we forget sometimes that it's one of the most important things that we can do to be able to kind of jumpstart our mornings. So this week's tip is to make sure that you're being mindful about what you put in your mouth in the morning. So I don't eat perfectly, but anybody who knows me knows that I try my hardest to make sure that I watch what I put in my mouth. Pretty much all the time. And if I'm putting something bad in my mouth, I know that I'm putting something bad in my mouth, and it's on purpose. What I like about this tip is that it gives us some accountability to kind of be aware of ourselves. Now, I know we're talking about women and mothers in transition, right? So we have 50 million thousand things going on and to pay attention to. So Amber, why are you giving me one more thing to pay attention to? Here's why. Because in the morning specifically, what I'm asking you to pay attention to is not just what you put in your mouth, but I want you to put something specific in your mouth. So, research shows that if you eat an apple in the morning, it does a better job of waking you up and keeping you awake than if you were to consume a cup of coffee in the morning, or even a cup of tea that has caffeine in it. So really think about that for a second. Now, I know you think that this is mumbo jumbo, but again, keep in mind what I said. I would not give you anything that I have not tried myself. I thought to myself, I'm going to eat an apple in the morning, and that's supposed to wake me up more than if I were to drink a cup of coffee or tea. I love tea. I'm a tea drinker, and I'm also a coffee drinker. I'm more of a tea drinker than a coffee drinker. And since I'm pregnant, I can't have a lot of coffee. Anyway, so I wind up drinking, more tea. But I love coffee just as much. And you would think that coffee would wake you up. It gives you more of a boost, right? And for those who are trying to get off of coffee, they'll go to a black tea or something like that to try to taper off of coffee. So when I read this, I was really skeptical, and I felt like I had to try it. Because I did. So one morning, I didn't have any coffee or any tea. I took an apple on my drive. I was taking my son to work, and instead of my coffee or tea, I ate an apple and drank a bottle of water. I usually drink, a substantial amount of water before I get to work anyway. But I drank a bottle of water and ate an apple. And the results were unbelievable. I literally felt alert. I felt energized, quite honestly. And so I've been doing that whenever I can. Okay, so whenever you have apples in the house. My sons love apples, so I always have apples in the house. When I pack them an apple, I pack myself an apple, and instead of drinking my coffee and my tea, I'll have an apple. And if I have an apple in the morning, that's whether you're having it with your breakfast or whether or not you're just having an apple in the morning. But when I have an apple in the morning, I feel just as energized as if I were to have had a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, without all of the jitters and the crashing and the needing to have more coffee over and over and over again. Another tip that we're going to talk about a different week is just as interesting, and all of you coffee drinkers will love it or hate it. But this is this week's tip. So what I want you guys to do is try it this week, you guys. Try it for a week and see. It might not work for you. It works for me. But what I want you guys to do is to eat an apple in the morning. Now, I would not suggest you eat an apple along with, let's say, a 5-pound meal, because that kind of defeats the purpose, because you're kind of overloading your system, right, with like not healthy stuff, like a lot of fat. So try for a week to have a light but fulfilling breakfast that includes an apple, okay? Or eat your apple instead of when you would normally grab your cup of coffee, get an apple, and then, have your breakfast, when you get to work or however your morning kind of operates. But eat an apple and see how it makes you feel in the morning, okay? Now, again, everyone's diets are different, so I'm not promising this is going to work for you. So again, this is going to require you to be a little bit aware of what you're putting in your mouth. But in specific this week, I want you to try to eat an apple in the morning for breakfast and see how it makes you feel. For me, it made me feel so energized, and it made me feel so good in the morning that it's a practice that I keep. I try to eat an apple in the morning if we have apples in the house, and I forego the coffee or the tea on those mornings, which is good for you. All that caffeine every single day, not a good thing for your body. It's dehydrating, but I digress. So that's our tip for this week. If you guys have questions about that, you can comment down in the comment section. You can join our Facebook group, the Growth Group. You can change and live the life you want. This is an opportunity for you to try doing that. And you can follow me on Instagram at Ambient Growth Coach. Until next week, I will see you guys, and be well.